Welcome to 5 Minutes of Faith. I'm your host, Pamela Denise. What is faith? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Faith is believing in something so strongly in your soul that you know to be true, even though you haven't seen it yet. So much so that you act upon it. So I'm here to share my faith with you 5 minutes at a time. Today, I got up this morning. I posted something on social media. It was a kind of blah day. It was a little blase, all energy in the air, right? And I spend time with the Creator. I spend time, but sometimes even that can become routine. And I do it because I dare not show up to the presence of God every single day. So, uh, but it was still feeling a little blase. But I posted something. I posted because I'm an influencer and I influence alignment via starting with water. I even created a whole system around it. So I posted that today. And I ended my post with, if you are struggling, know that God inhabits the praises of his people. And in his presence, there is fullness of joy, and the joy of the Lord can be your strength. Now, I sign off like that from time to time because I know that this world is dark and I know that a lot of people are struggling. And so I just want to encourage that if you don't know how to get out of the situation that you're in, um, worship God, not because of the situation, but because of who he is. And if you do that, know that he will show up. He inhabits, he literally does show up. When he shows up, he brings a peace and a joy, and that joy will strengthen you. That's real. So that's why I sign off like that from time to time. So the moment I ended up signing off, posting, within moments, like it's like my soul got snatched. There was an emptiness and a void in me that was tangible. It felt really, really bad. And so I phoned a friend. Um, the way, because I felt it, like I, I could have prayed myself, but because I know that I needed something, because it literally felt like it snatched my soul. I needed something more than me at that moment. And again, I could have prayed, but I phoned a friend, because a lot of times we feel like we can't call people, that we gotta endure all by ourselves all the time. And I do know how to endure like a good soldier. But I called a friend and she prayed with me, and she ended up saying, God is saying to rest. Like, she know I've been putting in all this work. She said, God is saying to rest. And I talked to my son, and he said, my rest, like, you didn't even really rest on the Sabbath, because I honored the Sabbath. I did an event. He said, like, maybe your soul really is needing something and you should just rest. So rest. I got rest 2 times. Take a deep breath. I got rest 2 times, and I said, okay, well, I'm gonna go for this bike ride first because I needed to be out in nature. And so I went to this place while I was riding my bike. I went to this place in my neighborhood that I meet God. It's a bridge. I worship on a bridge. And so I did a couple laps around my bike, and then I ended up in that space. And when I ended up there, my soul was still a little dry. And so there was a song that feels real good to me. And so I began to worship God. And I told my soul, you will worship God, because the Bible said that if we don't worship, that the rocks will cry out. And I'm smarter than a rock. So I said, I'm just going to worship God, and not thinking about, I wasn't even thinking about what I posted earlier, that if you are struggling, right? And here I was struggling. And so I took my own advice, not on purpose. Like, it's just what is natural for me to do, to worship God. I went to this place, I met God, and I said, I'm gonna worship you, because regardless of how I feel, I know that he's still God. Regardless of how I feel, I know that he's still in control. So I said, I'm gonna worship him on the strength, right? So I did. And when I did, he showed up. He showed up, and I began to dance, and I began to shout and cry out before him of his majesty. He is the creator of earth and stone, flesh and bone. He is the God that was, is, and is to come. And I remembered that in my worshiping him. So I wanted to share with you, because I posted it, and then the moment after I posted it, I I needed it. Like, I experienced a struggle. And then I literally went, and without thinking about the advice that I had given earlier, took my own advice. So I want to share with you, it works. That's what this whole 5 minutes of faith is about. It works. If you are put in a situation where you have to trust God, and I was trusting God that if my soul cried out to him, that he would show up. And my soul cried out to him, and he showed up. There may be that situation or another one in your life, but if you trust God, know that he is going to show you each and every single time that you can trust him. My soul will magnify the Lord, because in his presence there is fullness of joy. And if there's one place I always want to be, it is in his presence. So that's my faith. That's my 5 minutes. Until next time, peace be multiplied.